Okay, here we go. Okay, this is J.A. Marlow. This is a write-in. I know that some others are going to do other creative things like editing, I think some art, perhaps some crocheting. So I write across many genres, including science fiction, young adult, romance, action-adventure, and so many others. All have in common interesting characters, exotic locales, all accompanied by a sense of wonder with optimistic endings. Popular series include The Stringweavers, Salmon Run, and Redpoint One. My other activities include award-winning fine artist, award-winning graphic designer, award-winning book cover designer, digital artist, sewing maniac, Battle the Planet's mega fan, G-Force, fish herder, shrimp herder, and serial bug murderer. My books can be found at all major online retailers all over the world and are available either on the shelf or by order at your local bookstores. So places I can be found online, my home page is at jamarlow.com. I'm also part owner and a moderator at the free online writers community at fmwriters.com. I'm also quite often in the Forward Motion Discord channel. I'll put a link to that in the chat. Twitter at jamarlow_SF. Twitch channel jamarlow. A YouTube channel jamarlow. And you can also support me at Patreon at jamarlow. Here we go. I just realized I forgot to close my door again. Okay. So it looked like last night. See, I got the first draft of an article finished, and so tonight I'll be starting on something new because I'm not quite ready to revise it. And I'm hoping that Lizette Gifford will come in soon, because one of the things we were thinking about talking was about choosing your next project and what kind of things that each of you consider when deciding that. Oh, okay, Ash, you said you have a question about my activities earlier this evening. Go ahead. While you're typing that in, I'm going to go close my door. Okay, I'm back. I was wondering if your question was about that. Okay, so earlier this evening, people in chat got to hear me as I was working on a project. I had fished a plastic canister that my aunt had used up that was filled with collagen peptides. And let's see, there was a whole bunch of things about X-Acto knives and working slowly, and yeah, wondering when the aunt was going to say something about what in the world am I doing with my microphone. So one of the issues I do have is that I do have some background sound. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It comes from two main sources. One is the fish tanks for the bubbles. But the other thing is that the fan on my computer can be rather loud, and even though I have a directional microphone, it still picks it up. So I've been working on ways to try and minimize it. The other night when we had such hard, difficult sound issues, I had tried using a software resolution. Well, today what I did is I found this peptide collagen container that was a little bigger than my microphone, and I actually put a hole in the lid and put the lid down over my microphone, and then I screwed the container on top, so it looks like an upside down container on top of my microphone, and I put some padding on the inside of it to try and soundproof things a little bit. So it's very much homegrown, but that's what I was trying to do. Okay, so you don't like hear a low grade almost whoosh or whirl? No, it looks like Robin's going home. And by the way, I used some of my strips of my father's old shirts that I had cut up and salvaged. The parts that didn't have stains. Yeah, I used some of that as the padding on the inside. I might try something a little different for soundproofing though. I'll have to do some research on it. Okay, that's interesting. So at least it's a good quality on your side. I can hear it on my side. So that's what I'm concerned about. So anyway, Ash, that is what I was doing. And I know it sounded weird. Oh, and I just see something I need to fix. Ash let me know yesterday that I had the dimensions on my overlay wrong. I actually had room that I wasn't using. So I went ahead and fixed that today. Both my overlay and my cards at the beginning and end of the broadcast are adjusted. In doing that, I was able to make a little more room for the quotes, or the favorite lines. So, for instance, the guest line that, yeah, I think that was Lizette that I put in there. I was able to increase the font size so it's a little easier to read. Now I know I could put more... Oops, let's go ahead and do this. There we go. I know I could put more of the Scrivener file in it, but on my side it's already pretty wide, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. Looks like it keeps glitching for some reason. Okay, so the overlay looks better. Okay, thanks. Yeah, things just have a little more room now, because I wasn't... I was able to make it a little higher, but the big difference was that it's dramatically wider. Now if I can just get... you know what? Even though it didn't work last night, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my other monitor and separate out some of these programs. Sometimes if one program is laying over the next, and get that jumping thing you're probably seeing on the Scrivener side. My words on the script, in other words, you're saying that you can see pretty much all the words there, huh? No, please don't do that. Yeah, that's a continuing problem. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I thought I had a solution on making it blurry, but I don't think it quite worked like I wanted it to. So I'm going to have to research that again because I don't want to be self-conscious on that. I do not mind sharing my finished work. And I don't mind sharing like a little snippet like I did down here under my favorite line. Oh, hello Coffee Quill. I saw that you were on earlier. Sorry I didn't get in there, but I was trying to get some things figured out on my side. So welcome. Oh, and hopefully CE was able to get in here. CE, it's free to watch. You don't have to make an account. Let me go ahead and type that in. Okay. Okay, Ash, can you still read it? Yeah, it is a little flat. I actually took out the gradient. I might put it back. Okay, so you can't read it now. Well, that's good. I mean, you can still see progress, but yeah, I don't want people reading it. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like it too. It gives it a little pizzazz, so I'll see about putting that back in. It would only take me a few minutes. But I had a lot of adjustments to do today. I figured the gradient could wait. Oh, thank you, Lizette. Lizette, do you have sound yet? Sound is fine. Oh, good. Okay. Well, it looks like the screen is a little delayed from when I speak, so yeah, I'll have to give it time. It's almost like the old long-distance phone calls where you had to wait a fraction of a second to let the other person answer, as it took that long for them to hear. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, glad to see you, CE. How is your sound on your side? Yeah, yep, you have to turn on the little icon. All of this starts up with the stream automatically muted. So now you get to hear my voice. So welcome into the stream, C. Now you can see what craziness we've been doing. Okay, I'm checking one other screen, and then we can get back into it. We're just going to go ahead and close that window. Okay, Coffee Quill is actually a writer who streams here on Discord that dropped in on us. They also are at For the Words, which is a gamifying website where you can do quests and get special drops and all, and win clothes and items for your avatar by doing various types of writing. So no, they are not on FM. Although they did create an account in our Discord, but I don't think they've actually come into the chat itself. Hopefully Coffee will. And Coffee Quill has been nice enough to promote this stream in their stream. Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah, in the last couple nights we've had at least one or two people who just happened to catch our stream that aren't from Forward Motion, which is great, I think. So let me go ahead and get back to, and especially Lizette, go ahead and discuss this and bring out your ideas. And Ash, I think so too, you too, because you come at this from a different point of view than Lizette or I do. And anyone else as well, if you have any comment on what you personally do, go ahead and put it in into the chat. So the question is, how do you choose your next project, and what kind of things do you consider when deciding that? Let me go ahead and turn the music down just a little bit. There we go. So I thought this would be a good thing to bring up just because I'm also, I just finished the first draft of a novel. I had hoped to get it done by March 1st. I got it done early. Oh, yes, I do have the music on, but I have it down low so that it doesn't interfere with people being able to hear me. But when I'm typing, typically, I think all of you could hear it when I'm quiet and we're typing. There was music. Yes, there was. Here, let me turn it up. Can you hear that now? You hear it now? Yes, I turned it up. Here, let me turn it down just a little bit. Can you still hear it at that and hear my voice as well? Yeah, Lizette has trouble with sound on her side, so while I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and turn it down. While I'm writing, though, I can go ahead and turn it back up if anybody wants. This is a... Okay, great. It's a playlist that I put together myself. It doesn't have voices in it. Okay. So, to my question, we had AJ saying She's going a different approach. I'm building a world first, and I want to make stories that go in it afterwards. So AJ is world building, and as she's world building, then yeah, I'm sure jotting down ideas and characters and such. So that's a case where the world building will help you, will probably lead you right into what your next project's going to be. And then Ash, Lizette, and I have multiple worlds that we're already writing in and new ones popping up all the time. Yeah. Plot bunnies that reproduce like bunnies. Oh, lots of short stories, yes. Great way to explore a world. Okay, and CE said, usually I go with the thoughts that pester me the most, whether it's a character that tells me about the world, or a world that throws the character at me. Yep, and that's sometimes what I do as well, especially if I'm at a low point in life itself, that I need something fun and that's going to hold my attention. That means that I'm going to go with what calls me the most, where I get the most excited. And I have to say that when it comes to making this kind of decision, what makes me excited and almost bouncing and I can't wait to get to it, that's one of the big factors. I mean, if you're talking about percentage, it's way over 50%. Okay, for Lizette, says, for me, it depends on if I happen to have an outline ready or not. If I have several, and that does happen, I'll just choose whatever one appeals to me at the moment. When I'm creating outlines, it's entirely random, though. Okay. Yep. And then we have Ash. For instance, I'm focused with adding words to my DH01 rewrite, unless they're dead. In the background, I'm bouncing between like 2 or 3 phase outlines for other projects on different worlds from each other, and my main whip. Yep. Okay, so Midnight or Glass Quill says, I've always been character focused. World building happens through the characters. If they don't need to know it, I don't either. I'm actually that way with world building. I have, well, this book that I just finished, I did do some world building ahead of time, but that was because there were certain aspects of the physics of the and the political and social and recent historical events that were going to craft the very first book, and it was it helped mold the characters. So they were things that I needed to know, but I actually planned out very little past that. But because the book and the world are more complex, I actually had to do more world building than I usually do in order to start writing the book. And all through writing the book, I've been having to go into the series Bible and put all kinds of notes down. Yeah, AJ, that's why I wanted to ask the question, because I know just from forward motion chat that each one of us approaches this in a different way, and the factors that we think about and consider are very different. But that has to do with how we approach writing, our personalities, our history, and so forth. But it's very interesting to see it. You can also learn from it, from other people. It gives you new ideas. And Lisette says, an idea hits me, and if it sticks around for a few weeks, I'll do an outline. I don't jump into anything too quickly. I want to know it will hold up. Yeah, I can see that as well. You're someone who looks around and you see story ideas everywhere, and when you do that, you kind of have to pick and choose because life's too short to write everything. So if it sticks around, that means it might be a good idea. But if it doesn't stick around for that, well, then it wasn't an energizer bunny. It has to have some legs. No, C says, I love creating worlds and I have a problem with spending too much time world building and not enough time actually writing. That's not an unusual problem. A lot of people have that. They get caught up in the world building. Which is a reason why I don't mind that I do a minimal world building, because I don't want to get into that trap. And for some people, it's very much a trap. Oh yes, and Lizette says, I have that pesky rule that everything I start I have to finish, so I am careful. Absolutely, if that's your rule, you better make sure it's good. So for me, like I said before, after someone else mentioned it, I very much consider what am I excited to write next. But it also, one of the considerations I bring into it is what's happening in my life at the time. As many of you know, my life has been extremely stressful for the past year. So I knew that any project that had a really, really dark aspect to it, that I needed to not write that. Oddly enough, the Phoenix Paladins does have some of that, but it's very much about people being really proactive and it was more action-oriented, so that offset it. So now that I'm trying to find a new project, I'm still doing that. I need to be careful about super dark aspects to it. But the other part is that I am a published writer, and I have several series out there. So one of the first things I do is I take a look at what's, you know, I have an actual list of my series, and I'll go through them and going, well, no, that one's definitely not, so I can take that off the plate. And then I start paring it down on, well, this one hasn't had a book in this long, might be time to do it. So I do use that to help balance out my decision making. I also have my blog website, my Patreon. I'm going to be doing some videos. So I've got a lot of also nonfiction. With my fatigue, I have found that often if I'm extremely fatigued, I have an easier time doing some nonfiction in the analytical brain. It's almost like the creative brain at times takes more energy. So, this week I have had a huge problem with chronic fatigue and brain fog. So after finishing the first draft, I switched over to writing some nonfiction articles, and I finished the rough draft of one last night. Tonight I'm going to do the same thing. I have two things that I'm interested and, you know, kind of excited to write about. One is a nonfiction about another article on flexibility in writing. That was the basic subject of another article I wrote last night. But I'm also writing a science fiction, nonfiction book on faster than light methods in writing, which could also be used for games and such. But it's different type of FTLs and the type of questions you can ask yourself to narrow down how yours work, and you know, thinking about the consequences of them as well. So I think I'm going to be bouncing between those two. So Lizette, do you ever consider what series you already have out there as part of your decision making on what project you'll do next, or does that really not even come to mind? We'll wait for Lizette to catch up. While we're waiting for her, I did also want to mention one other thing. I mentioned that sometimes I'll consider what's happening in my life at the time. There has been, like 2 years ago, I was at a really, really low point. And I threw out pretty much all the other considerations, and I said, I have to do something that I'm totally excited about. There's nothing else I'm going to consider. And that's actually how the Dragon Paladins came up. I've been calling it my heart project. It's something that's probably, well, it's a cross-genre. In doing searches for it, I'm really not finding much out there like it, so marketing is going to be an issue. But I love the world and love the character. And it had to be written. So it made me bounce up and down as I was plotting it out and writing out the first part of it. And that was good for me at the time. Okay, so Lizette says, if nothing leaps up that I want to do right now, I'll look over sets. That's why I'm doing an outline for, oh, the Clockwork Steampunk one. Oh yes, the Summerfield series. Yes, and Ash absolutely loves it and has been pestering Lizette to get out the next book on that. Actually, Lizette, if you'd like to put a link up to one of the places where your Summerfield books are, you can go ahead and do that. Oh, you're right. It is the urban fantasy. If you're not having fun, why do it? Absolutely. Life's too short. Okay, I just got a question. Speaking of books, Jam, are you working on the new Phoenix Fire ones? AJ, are you talking about the new Stringweaver series that I was talking about, or are you talking about the Phoenix Paladins with the group of teens saving Earth while trying to keep their secret identities? Okay, Ash, are you also a fan of those? Okay. If it was the one with Merrick and Chris, that is the book I just finished. So that's the Phoenix Paladins series. So first book was finished, yes, on Monday. So, but in replotting the end of book one, I pretty much destroyed the planning and outline for books 2 and 3, which had been pretty much completed. So I've got to actually replot the next 2 books. That is big on my agenda. I originally planned it where 3 books was an arc, and then I had another arc of books 4 through 6 semi-planned. Well, now that first arc of books 1 through 3 need to be redone. Book 1 is good. It's nice and solid. Now I have to replot 2 and 3 to complete the same arc, but do it in a different way. Okay, Midnight, you were saying I think I may either have to write new stories or modify existing ones for reading. Are you talking about for the YouTube videos you're wanting to do? Pester her, Ash. Pester her. Write faster, Zet. Write faster. You have fans, Zet. But you knew that. Oh, yeah. Thing is, if I know it's being worked on, I see no reason to pester for it, even if I'm anxious to read it. Nice. AJ, thank you. And yes, I actually talked about that the other night, and I'm going to do a YouTube video on it, because that's part of being flexible in writing. There's a lot of people who had, if they had run into what I did during the summer, they would have abandoned the project. But I don't, because it's all about being flexible and continuing on with how the story and the characters progressed. So that's actually a big part of the article I wrote last night. So I'll have more to say on that later. But if they have a specific question about it right now, by all means, bring it up. Oh, reading them straight off the page bores me first? Does that mean you need to make them more exciting? Oh, yes, you mentioned that the other night when we were talking about that, Ash. That you would have dropped the project, probably just, yeah, put it aside to take things from for other projects later. But I'm very, very much of the opinion, any kind of planning you do, any kind of outlines you do, even your own ideas, even if they're just in your head, they're not set in concrete, they're not set in stone. They're there to help you, but if they no longer are helping you, then it's time to throw them out and see what new path you need to forge in order to keep going forward. So yes, it's all about staying flexible. Just because, you know, you get blocked and, oh, everything I thought doesn't work anymore, that doesn't mean the project's dead. That actually brings up an idea. Maybe I need to be doing a... It'll take me a while to write it, but I could do an article on, you know, what to do when your project hits a story wall. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a note for myself and just see if any ideas come up on that kind of a fiction. I mean, an article. Okay, so I made a note. more like what's in my head doesn't translate well to a different format. Sometimes and you know, sometimes you might be just getting tripped up with hearing your own voice doing it. I know Moosey is really waiting for you to get it out. May I suggest that you do one as a test and let her listen to it? Because a lot of times with books themselves, the writer thinks that they're horrible and boring, but that's because they're hearing it in their own voice and you can't hear your own writing voice. So what you think is boring may be very interesting and great for somebody other than you. Oh, see, he says when my project hits a story wall, I generally just cry. Well, so long as you pick yourself up and keep going. Okay, so AJ, it sounds like that's a subject you'd love to hear and see. Okay, so what I'm planning on some of these articles that I'm doing, I'm going to do it as an article first, and it's going to go up on my website. And then I'm also going to do it as a YouTube video. I'm also going to be collecting like related articles together and put them out as books. So that is a project I'm actively working on in between other projects. You're not a blockhead, Glass. Oh, you see, there you have someone else, Glass. Ash wants them too. Okay, thank you, AJ. I did write a note about, you know, hitting a story wall. So as I think up things, I'll start, you know, putting notes in there and fleshing it out. And if anybody has any other ideas that you'd like me to expound on or do research on or do an article on, just let me know. I'm always happy to share, as I've had most problems out there at one time or another. Alright. Oh, yeah. Get back on there, you. Okay, Starjam, you need to be talking again. There we go. Okay, does anybody else have any comments or questions at this point? Yeah, she will. She'll fly across the world or crawl through the internet to come at you. But it's all meant in love, right? I'm still laughing about that. And over in Texas, Moosey had a shiver go down her spine and she has no idea why. Okay. So, like I said, tonight I'm actually bouncing between two well, one is a nonfiction book on faster than light methods for fiction. What did I name it? Oh, designing FTL methods for fiction and gameplay. And then the other one I was thinking of writing on, because it's kind of one of those that I'm having to mentally gnaw on and put little parts in it as I'm thinking about it. You know, it's more about staying true to you while still being flexible, and that's a hard thing to explain how to do. Oh, keep pushing at it, Ash. You'll get through it. Either that or I'm a real glutton for punishment. Well, Glasgow could be both. Like most of us. Okay. Well, keep an eye on chat if anyone has another question or wants to talk about anything creative or writing related. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get to some creativity, whatever it is for you. Anyone want to give a shout out in the chat on what they're working on tonight? Oh, and by the way, there is a section in here in my overlay for favorite guest lines. That means if, as you're writing or editing, if you come up with a line or two that you just really love, go ahead and put it in chat. If I like it too, I'll put it up on the main board. The one that's currently there is from a booklet Lizette is revising. Oh, and AJ, the comment, the favorite line that I have up there, that's actually from the Phoenix Paladins, the book series you're talking about. Okay, so Ash is working on his mask outline. Oh, okay. Lizette, I should be editing the novella. I am going to write a bit of the flash fiction instead. I have a feeling you'll be bouncing between the two unless the headache comes back. Oh, see, I kind of figured it would be the rose tattoo story. Oh, you have until Tuesday. Is that Tuesday and it has to be completely and utterly done? Oh, more harp tuning for midnight. How many harps do you need to tune today? I remember the other day it was 5. Oh, okay, so you just need the first draft done. Well, that actually helps a lot. At least you don't have to have everything done, including the revision. Okay, I have Scrivener up. I'm going to reset the targets, which I had forgotten to do last night. 11 today, wow. That is a lot of work. He goes, dude, if it had to be done, polished and all, I would not be this calm. I bet you wouldn't. It'd be some serious panic time. Okay, so the shorter article on the flexibility, that's sitting at 96 words, and that's pretty much just notes. Oh, new shipment, so they're brand new. Cool. So for those who want any timed writing, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. And I'm going to look over this and pick a point to write a paragraph out. I'm hoping to hit 100 words with it. We'll find out. Okay, so there we go. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the chat. We just finished talking about what kind of things we consider when we're we finished one project and about to launch into another one. Go ahead and let us know. Are you a writer? And if so, what kind of things do you write? Or are you more of a creative? And welcome to the chat. Oh, you do voiceovers. Nice. Very nice. I always thought I'd like to do that just for fun, but haven't found a project to do that with. I think the closest I'm gonna get is reading my own work. Oh, reading the fanfics. Oh yeah, boy, and poor Pokemon, there's so many. Ouch. Yep. Midnight is true. If you've written something, then you fit right in. And hey, if you want to write another script, go ahead and get something out. Go ahead and join us in a little bit of writing. Although not everyone here is writing, some are editing, some are outlining, harp tuning. Robin might be crocheting. Oh, CE is internally crying. Is your story trying to eat your brain? Or melt it. Okay. I think I just talked myself into a circle in this one short part. That's not going to work. Alright, let me go back through this. Oh. You said... Fangirl, I tried... Oh, I cried when I was reading a fanfic. I've done that on a few fanfics. You get a really good writer and you already know the characters. Yep. The tears can come. CE, absolutely. Finish the story. Even if you hate it. You'll be editing it in class. You can always make it better later. As they say, you can't edit a blank page. And I'm trying very hard not to be flippant and say my usual thing in chat where I say, oh, I'm stuck, okay. Enter the flying ninjas. I have yet to see a story of anyone who's been in chat where that idea works. Although I think some of us have been very tempted to use the advice of an asteroid hits the Earth and everybody dies. Now it's a challenge for flying ninjas. Oh no, did we just come up with a new anthology idea? When I edit a blank page, I write on it. Well, maybe it's a flying flying ninja pizza delivery. There we go. There's somebody can write that story. Oh, well, our 10 minutes just ended. Now I want pizza. Thanks a lot. I can't have pizza. And I don't have it. Alright, I'm gonna finish this paragraph if it kills me. pizza stars. I have a feeling that pizza stars are just not going to be quite as deadly as something made out of metal. Oh, greetings from Iceland. Iceland, very nice. Not as deadly, but much more tasty, yes. Alright, did I start up the timer? No, I didn't. Alright, I'm gonna start up the timer. I'm gonna mute myself for a moment so that you don't hear me opening the door and everything. I need some more water, so I'll be right back. So I come back to the comment of pizza stars could be dangerous if they are extra cheesy and the victim is lactose intolerant. I am actually lactose intolerant. I'm not severely so. I can actually get away with mild cheeses like medium to mild cheddar and mozzarella. But anything that's been aged, anything that's a hard cheese, nope, I cannot have it. By the way, thanks to everyone talking about food, when I went out and got water, I came back with some frozen dark chocolate chips. Just a couple. Okay, CE just asked what would people do as a date in the late 1910s. I think it also depends on where you were. I mean, if you're out in the country, you could go riding horses. Picnics, of course. In the city, you'd go walking in the park. Before World War I in Boston? Yeah, I'd say go walking in the park. Do a picnic by the river. If it was in the winter, you'd totally have a sleigh. And if someone had one of the early cars, they could be showing off with it. Yes, go have tea. Looks like CE's getting some good ideas. Oh, I think I'm over 100 words so far. I am. So 203, so that's a little over 100 words from where I started with the notes. Also have them take a train ride somewhere. Go to a nearby beach. Of course, in the spring it might still be too cold. did that wrong. Oh, there goes the timer. 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and reset that for anyone who's doing any time writing. There we go. Alright, timer reset. Might be giving her too many ideas, Ash. She only has 7,500 words for the entire story. There goes the typo monster, just got nailed. There we go. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Lizette. And I'm sure looking at a computer screen's not helping your migraine. I'm definitely not hitting word counts as quite as fast on nonfiction articles as I can on fiction. Just the way of it. Oh, Lizette is at 600 words, and she has 1,000 for the flash fiction. I'm guessing this is part 3? Or are you now on part 4? No, part 4. Okay. I'll go with that. I'm wondering how long this one's going to be. Yeah, it's definitely a serial now. Well, this article just veered off, and the title of it no longer works. It is now about something completely different. Oh my goodness. To last 20. So you're talking about novella. Or no, yeah. Novelette to novella length. Yeah, I need to retitle this article. This title does not work at all now. Lizette, out of curiosity, what you're working on right now, is this placed in one of your published worlds or universes, or is this something completely new and stands all by itself? Oh, and for those that weren't in last night, my little avatar, Star Jam, she has on a new little outfit. Oh, and our timer went off. Let me go ahead and reset that for another 10 minutes. Oh, you haven't placed it yet. Okay. Oh, the IWC universe. That's the same one Devlin is in. By the way, Lizette's Devlin books are fun. Just fun science fiction. Oh, okay. Lizette says I've done a few other stories with this fighter crew for Flash Fictions. I'll round them all up and figure it out one of these days. Yeah, definitely would make a good collection. Maybe you can put the longer work together with some of the shorter works and make a bundle out of it. You're welcome. Oh, yeah, if you have several that have turned out to be little serials. Yeah, absolutely. Bundle those together. Have a little collection. And Ash, yes, it's your story. You're god of your world. So you tell it the way you want. I have another 100 words, finally! Yeah, it's going slow tonight. I'm gonna try and finish this thought, and at that point, I think my brain is saturated on this, and I'll need to move on to something different. And of course now I'm deleting some words. Every time you think you get caught up, there it goes. There we go. I'm curious, as I'm typing, are you guys hearing it like you were the other night, or is the new way I have my microphone set up muting the typing? Oh, Lizette's almost to 1,000. Okay, then it must be blocking it now. I know Midnight was saying that she actually enjoyed hearing the typing. Okay, so it is blocking it. Oh, maybe I need to take this cover off. Actually, that's a good experiment. Why don't I take the cover off and you guys can tell me if you can hear any of the background noise as well. Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. So my makeshift cover is now off, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to typing. Can anybody hear any of the background noise? Yeah, on my side I can actually hear my computer fan. Okay, turning back on the music. Okay. Well, it sounds like for you guys, my making that little sound shield didn't make any difference because you weren't hearing anything anyway. I was paranoid that the whirring that I was hearing on my side, that you could hear it as a background noise. So I won't worry about that. So now to get back to typing. Oh. I didn't get that reset. Okay. Timer set for another 10 minutes. Oh, you can hear it again. Okay. It's just so funny. I mean, in most channels, they go out of their way so that their typing and their keyboard is not heard, to the point that they get special O-rings to put under their keys. And in this chat, everyone wants to hear the typing. Just goes to show how different we are. In a wonderful way, of course. Uh-oh. CE, you're closing tabs. Oh no, how many did you have open to start with? Oh, words. Did I already say 400? I might have already said that. 403, 405, no. I had that transposed. 504. Well, that was a little dyslexic. Oops. Five windows, 40 plus tabs. Alright. Yep. Life in our universe, as we know it, may be ending. You get down to 10 tabs. I don't think we've had as much buffering tonight as we did last night. I think every single one of us was having internet issues. I'll never get down to 10 these tabs. I know the feeling. I think I have one part of this article about 2 paragraphs in the wrong spot. I should not have said anything about not buffering as much because I just buffered. Let me reload my page so I can see it again. In the meantime, I'm going to look at, while it's loading, oh, I just thought of another article. I am going to make notes. Okay. I went from making a few notes to actually writing over 100 words on the article itself. I love the clacking of keyboards. So you don't mind hearing me type at all. Oh good, I'm glad you're not having buffering on your side. I think it was my browser that was doing that. I have my streaming software open on one side, but then just to make sure that there's not any big technical issues I'm not aware of. Oop, there goes the timer. Let's go ahead and reset that. I also have the browser open either to YouTube or Twitch, or if my internet's fast enough, I'll have them both open. And then I'll chat through one of those. Oh, I agree with Ash on that. If you really like popcorn, that's actually what I do because I have to try and stay away from as many preservatives as possible. We have an air popper here, and we even go so far as to go to the health food store and get organic corn to do the air popping with. And I've had no issues with those. Oh, yes. AJ, definitely. Now I want popcorn. Well, I looked up and I see some snails having a snail orgy. Wonderful. Hello, guys. Oh, the chat filter caught the word orgy. Yes. Yes, snails will do that. And it basically looks like a whole bunch of snails will pile one on top of each other. So you look up and you don't just see one snail shell. It's a conglomerate of them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your writing world, CE. You get back to that writing. I'm hoping that you were in your own little writing world in the Rose Tattoo story. Yeah, too much information on snails. Okay, I will go back to writing then. I find it amusing too, that's why I started laughing when I looked up. I was expecting to see guppies staring me down begging for food. Instead I saw snails. Oh, there goes the timer. Let's go ahead and reset that again. Oh, you got the time skip to work. Congratulations. AJ, are you heading out? Oh, yes. As that says, the big problem of moving from one story to another is getting the names right. I have definitely accidentally done that. Brought a name from the old story into the new, and then it's like a big oops, and you have to scramble and go back and change it. So good night, AJ. Hope to see you tomorrow night. You have a good sleep. Oh, yes. When I do outlines too, I'll label the individual scenes with the point of view of the character. Helps get those names into my brain. Oh, CE, you said you've only ever written in the third point of view. That's my favorite POV. Although I do have a few short works that are in first person, like my Space Rogue. But I don't do that a whole bunch. And I don't do present. I have never been comfortable with present. But that's just a personal thing. There's some great works out there that are written in present. Okay, inspector. No, that's not what I want. Targets. Okay, well, I know that this is partially wrong because it wasn't catching up with what I was doing before, but the Scrivener target says I'm at 1,102 words for the night so far, and I've written across 2 different articles. One article I already knew about. The second article, that's almost to 700 words, I didn't even know about. I just opened it up and said, oh, that's a good idea, and instead of just writing notes, I started writing the entire freaking article. And yes, Harry Potter, third person limited. Okay, I have a question for the chat room. I think I'm missing one, so I'm going to put it out here. I think we talked about it the other day in chat, that there are about the rules of writing fiction, and I think I had said that that was a trick question because there are no rules. Well, there basically aren't, but there are some guidelines. So there's only a handful of things that I view as essential for fiction writers, but it's not the sort of things that they typically think of. So for everyone in the chat room, what do you believe is essential for fiction writers? A type of rule, so to speak. I'm not asking about what people have told you are rules, because I think that would be a great article too, is to go and debunk them. But these are things that are actually useful. So, for instance, yes, Lizette, I was just about to say, to give an example, that one of the things I had was, are you enjoying writing? Because there's so many people out there, they just hate writing. It's like pulling teeth. They don't look forward to it. And it's like, good grief, life's too short. Why are you doing that? So for me, yeah, that is one of the rules of fiction writing, is that you want to do it. Oh, there goes the timer. Go ahead and put that on there. Oh, Ash's phase outline is at 92. Yep, writers that hate writing. I have heard it time and time again. Yep, what Lizette said, and I actually put that in the article. Some want to have written, but they don't want to write. Yeah, Glassquill, I think that would more go into the article I'm thinking of false writing tropes. Writing to market. And to be honest, there are writers out there who are well on their way to burnout, who will just talk themselves blue saying that's the only way to write. But that's something I do agree with you on. You want to burn out on writing and then never write again? By all means. Chase the current trend and write to market. Because that's not being true to you. Oh, Ash, you just brought up what I had just finished writing part of this, so it looks like I already have that. And basically I said the same thing, you know, writing is communication. And if it's incomprehensible, then you're failing at the communication. So you need a basic understanding of the language you're writing in. That includes punctuation, capitalization, basic sentence structure and grammar, basic spelling, and so forth. Yeah, okay. So, both you and Lizette came up with two things I already had. Another one I had, the third one I have, so right now I only have three, was, is the method you are using helping you to finish projects? Because I'm very firm of the belief, unless you're totally writing for yourself and you don't care about finishing anything, this is a part of communication, is that if you're writing a story, you finish it. And if the methods you're using are not helping you to finish it, then it's not working. Oh, 390 words for CE, congratulations! And she says, managed to connect what I had written for the beginning to the part I wrote of the MMC going off to war. Fantastic. Okay, Lizette says, back when I was reading Slush for Double Dragon, that's a publisher, I had more than one person tell me they didn't need to make any corrections since that was the editor's job. Oh, and yeah, CE. I know you're exhausting yourself thinking about that. I hope you have a really good night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. Even if you were here, could you post our bales? Have a good night. Good night, CE. I agree, Ash, that you say that you've always striven to improve on the writing. And I think we've all seen that with published writers that maybe we followed and don't anymore. Because at a certain point they stopped learning. They stopped expanding. So yeah, as you said, no matter how good any writer thinks they are, they can always learn something else to improve their writing. Absolutely. I'm not sure how I would fit that into this article, though. Because there are some people that are making a living out there just writing the same thing over and over again. So this is more about the actual rules of writing, which are things that most people don't think of as that way. I don't know, let me think about this. Oh, I may have thought of a way to word that, actually. Oh, yeah, Lizette, I have that same issue, where, yeah, you make a breakthrough in a new skill set, thinking about things different, working out things different. For instance, I know for me, I'm so much better now. I had a breakthrough about 3 years ago, when it came to writing in depth, and part of that was because of a class I took with Dean Wesley Smith and Chris Catherine Rush. And then after that, after trying to figure out what in the world I was doing, all of a sudden it clicked. And now I look back at my older stuff, and yeah, there's stuff that people say they absolutely love, but I'm going, oh my gosh, I could have put so much more depth in there, and I keep wanting to go back and do it. My problem is that there's so many stories I do want to tell, and I did the best I could on those stories at the time. I almost look at them like a time capsule. So I'm actually working very hard just to let them be and stand on their own for who and what I was then. But in the new stories, I take that breakthrough along with it. Nope, there goes the timer, and reset it. Yeah, so one thing I have been doing here soon I'm going to be tweaking and re-releasing the Salmon Run series. Because I want to put it out into some new distribution channels. Just like I did that with the Stringweavers books too. In fact, they're the only ones that I've done it with. So Salmon Run is next up on my plate. I'm actually going to do some of my streams here at night instead of writing. I'm going to be working in Vellum, rewriting ad copy, and I actually created a. Oh, in fact, I can actually preview it. I actually created a new, when I was working on the overlay today, I created this overlay so that I had a bigger place where I could have open Vellum so you guys can see what it looks like. And also I can have my graphics program open there so you can see me as I'm tweaking book covers. So that's one thing that'll be coming up, that I'll be doing some writing business streams instead of new words once in a while. But we'll get back to what we were talking about before. Those are such short reads. I am trying to finish off the Salmon Run series. I love the series, but it is so tied in my memories to Mom and Dad that it's actually hard for me to write it now, because the thing is, the ones they knew that I was writing on another one of those books, they started hounding me for them, and they wanted them. So when I start writing any of those books, I keep looking up, expecting to say, all right, I'm halfway through, you know, I've made such and such progress on the next Salmon Run book. But I look up now and they're not there. And so even though I love the books, I love the feel of them, I even love reading them, oddly. But it's very hard for me now to write them. But I don't want to leave it kind of hanging. I actually had kind of an endpoint, was resolution for some of the characters, or at least you knew what direction they were heading. So that is one of the big things I was hoping to do this summer, but it didn't because of everything went crazy and I got sick and such. That I'm taking all the notes of all the books that I had, and I'm consolidating them down into the next 4 books. And I'm going to conclude that series. So me putting together, tweaking the entire series, that is a part of that entire project. That the Salmon Run series is going to be closed down, but I want it to look really good. So I am rereading it to get into my head, back in that world. Make sure that I have all the plot arcs that they need to be closed down in those last 4. And I'm doing just a little bit of editing as I'm going. I have been finding some typos and such, and there's some areas where I'm going, what in the world did I mean by that? And yeah, I'm about halfway through the very first book, and I have to admit I've added about 500 words to it. I couldn't help myself. But that is the only time that I have gone back to an older book and made any kind of big changes. But once I'm done with that series and close it down, I won't be going back to it. Unless, of course, somebody options it and it goes nuts and is on TV and stuff, and then I will find a way to get myself emotionally to a place where I can write more books. But other than that, no, the series will be done. Oh, thank you for all the hugs. I appreciate it. That's actually a project I need to get back to. Oh, shaking pom-poms, thank you. Oh, yes, Ash. I know all about there being too much material for only a certain amount of books. Yep. Agreed, Lizette. You can't write them all. So even though you keep wanting to go back to books that are already published and revise them and rewrite them, can you please keep moving on? We want to read the new stuff. You have so many good stuff, so much good stuff waiting in the wings. Well, this article just went over 800 words. The article that didn't exist before the stream started. Oh, there goes the timer. Okay, I need to reword one thing. Yep, I did something. Okay. Oops. Take this out. Move it up here. I love copy and paste. You have coffee. Ugh, you can have your coffee. I want tea. Uh-oh, Zaphod is crying. Not good. Oh, he was out of water. Okay, well, at least he wasn't bleeding or something. Now, so far I haven't really worked on the FTL book. I looked at it once and my brain went, nope. Not up to that tonight. Okay, I think I'm done with the first draft of this article. It turned out to be 985 words. Oh, it looks like we're losing Ash. Have a good night, Ash. Sleep well. Yeah, sounds like people are starting to cycle down a little bit. Well, my goal tonight was to work on 2 different articles. Hopefully finish one. I did better than that. I worked on one of the articles that I had intended. I think that I have the first draft of that done. I'll know more later when I go and revise it. You know what? I'm going to call that one. It's the first draft on that one is done too. And then on top of that, I started a new article I didn't even know about before the stream, and I just finished that one too. I am at... Well, I know I'm over this. Like I said, my counter wasn't counting right at first in the evening. But right now it's claiming that I've written 1,406 words so far tonight. So even though this was nonfiction and I had to stop and do a lot of thinking, and we had a really good writing discussion at the beginning of the stream, that's a really good word count. So I am very happy with that progress. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here. You know what? I'm gonna take these words out of here because this box is starting to get pretty full. But I am going to leave in the information on the first draft done and how many words that is. Oh, thank you, Lizette. Appreciate it. Okay, so today is... You are... And then what did I say? 1,406. Okay. There we go. Okay, got that up there. So, Lizette, do you, did you come across any good line tonight that you'd like to replace yours with? I can go through and see what kind of line I like from the nonfiction I just wrote. Not tonight? Okay. Well, give me a minute to look through here. Let's see if I can change mine. Yep, I have a good one. Alright, let's get this up here. Sorry, Chris and Merrick, your lines are being replaced. Here we go. Okay, the timer ended. Maybe that should have gone in the motivational area. Thank you, Lizette. Appreciate it. I know that certainly has proved true with me through the years of writing. And we talked about breakthroughs in writing. Those don't apply just to craft. It also, for me, has applied to the philosophy surrounding writing, which is basically part of the article I just wrote the first draft of about the rules of fiction writing. I think that's something both you and I are in agreement on. Okay. I'm very happy with what I got done tonight. Yep. Yep. Okay. While I am here, though, I am going to check email because I did send something in for the Twitch streaming convention that will be happening this summer. Because I had been talked to about possibly being on some panels and maybe giving a presentation or two. So let's see if they responded quick. Trying to clean up your desk. Good luck with that. The least said about my desk right now, the better. Actually, my desk is a lot better than it had been because I needed to clean it up when I started doing the streaming. Make sure that I had certain things readily in hand. Come on, email, you can do it. Oh, Night Canna. I just opened up the wrong email. Oh, how annoying. Alright, switch. The typo monster is attacking Lizette. How is your headache, by the way? Are you still getting the lines? So tonight's, you know, you're talking about editing and having a breakthrough and all of that, and I started talking about Salmon Run. I'm gonna do some thinking tonight and tomorrow. It may be time to attack that again. Oh, and I remember this last summer, I was so set to do it. I even had all the notes out and everything. And then I just lost it. But it is something it's very much on my mind that I definitely want to finish it up. Okay, not there. Oh, okay. Have a good night, Class Quill. Sounds like people are starting to drop like flies. Well, I'm going to be slowly shutting down here myself, but now I'm trying to get into this email real fast. Because there might be something they're really interested in what I wrote. Come on, you can do it. Nope, no answer back. At least not yet. Was kind of early. So we'll check tomorrow. Go ahead and close this up. Yeah, almost 3 a.m. That's what I figured, that you were getting really close to going to bed yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and start shutting this down. I will be in the Forward Motion Discord chat after this. Let me go ahead and put a link in chat, an invitation. So I will be back tomorrow. I do not know yet if I'm going to be doing planning on a project or more work on the nonfiction articles. We will find out. But anyway, thank you everybody. I thank everybody for joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great writing and craft and just motivation discussion tonight. I appreciate everybody's comments on that and help. So tomorrow, 11 o'clock Mountain Time, 11 p.m. we'll be back. So I will see you then. In the meantime, I can be found at jamarlow.com. That's my home webpage. I can also be found at the free online writers group, Forward Motion for Writers, at fmwriters.com. At Twitter, I'm jamarlow_SF. The Twitch channel, jamarlow. YouTube channel, jamarlow. You can also support me at patreon.com/jamarlow. And of course, you can support me with my books. My books can be found under my name of J.A. Marlow at all the major online bookstores all across the world. And they are also available on the shelf or by order at your local bookstore. So in the meantime, you have yourself a great night, or a day. So I know we had some people on the other side of the world from where I am at. Be safe, be happy, and be healthy.